Dark skies press against a thin sliver of city light. Clouds move like a slow curtain. A low, unfamiliar sound begins to thread through the air. Not thunder, not wind, something else. It arrives in basements, on beaches, inside quiet homes, and under open skies. People lift their heads, they move toward windows, they stare into the night, puzzled. The data showed variety. Frequencies ranging from infrasonic lows below human hearing to higher tones, variable amplitudes, and time signatures tied to weather, human activity, and at times, seemingly nothing at all. Hypotheses multiplied. Some pointed to industrial sources, distant compressors, heating systems, or factory machinery that can broadcast low-frequency energy over surprising distances. For decades, reports have surfaced from towns large and small. In some places it is described as a low hum, somewhere between a distant engine and a vibrating pipe. Elsewhere it is a high, metallic moan that rattles windows and unsettles sleep. Sometimes it is intermittent. Sometimes it lasts for hours. No single pattern explains all occurrences, and that inconsistency is part of why the sound continues to puzzle experts. Scientists approach the problem the way they approach any strange signal, with measurement. Microphones, seismographs, infrasound detectors, and hydrophones were deployed. Universities and government labs collected recordings from basements and seaside cliffs, from quiet rural homes and bustling harbors. This is the story of a mysterious sound heard around the world, a noise that defies easy explanation and has drawn scientists, journalists, and ordinary listeners into a slow, careful hunt for answers. Visual, night cityscapes, empty streets, people in silhouette looking up. Captions on screen read, a hum, a roar. Others suggested geological causes, shifting faults creating subterranean rumble, gas moving through beds of rock, or tiny earthquakes too small to be felt but large enough to create sound. The oceans offered additional suspects: whales, undersea volcanic activity, and the so-called bloop phenomena, powerful acoustic events recorded by hydrophones years earlier. Atmosphere and magnetosphere entered the list. Lightning and upper atmosphere electrical discharges produce sounds and very low-frequency waves. Solar storms can trigger electromagnetic activity that couples into the ionosphere and, under certain circumstances, creates audible phenomena on the ground. Even the wind, shaped by urban canyons and mountainous passes, can create haunting whistles and groans. Researchers also considered human-made, covert sources. Military sonar, experimental broadcast tests, and secret industrial processes were, and remain, plausible in some specific cases. Yet, in many locations, the timing and distribution of the sound did not match known military exercises or industrial operations. As investigators looked for a single origin, the evidence repeatedly pointed to many origins. Perhaps most intriguing were reports that crossed national boundaries with similar acoustic signatures. In some recorded samples, analysts identified common spectral features: a persistent low-frequency band, harmonics that hinted at resonating cavities, or a pulsing characteristic consistent with rotating machinery. Those similarities suggested that, in many cases, different mechanisms could produce similar audible experiences, leading to the same perception: a haunting, unexplained sound. Importantly, scientists emphasized what sound cannot say. Hearing is subjective. Buildings amplify or damp frequencies. Plumbing can resonate. Human health and stress influence what we notice. Communities reporting the same noise often describe differing sensations. Some felt vibrations in their chests, others simply heard a tone. Psychological and social amplification. Once a mysterious sound is noticed and shared, people become more likely to detect it elsewhere. Added another layer of complexity to any investigation. Field studies produced partial answers. In certain towns, local investigations trace the noise to aging industrial equipment or a neighbor's large HVAC unit. In coastal areas, hydrophone data linked underwater acoustic events to submarine landslides or volcanic eruptions. In cities, construction projects and subway systems generated low-frequency energy that propagated through ground and building structures. Each resolved case offered relief, and a reminder that mystery often masks mundane causes. Yet other recordings refused tidy explanations. High-quality audio captured spectral details that did not match known machines, geological tremors, or documented atmospheric events. In a few isolated instances, the noise seemed to arrive in pulses that traveled with no clear source, fading and strengthening in ways that baffled even seasoned acousticians. Those unresolved episodes are the reason stories about the sound persist in forums and late-night conversations. The scientific response has been methodical, not mystical. researchers publish findings, propose models, and invite replication. Advances in sensor networks, machine learning analysis of acoustic patterns, and coordinated international monitoring are improving the ability to correlate events with potential sources. But science moves by accumulation of evidence, and for now, that accumulation shows a mosaic: many sounds, many causes, and a handful of true mysteries. The mystery of the global sound is as much about human curiosity as it is about physics. It asks us to listen more carefully to the world and to accept that some questions take time and many ears to answer. For every hum traced to a pipe or a machine, another recording whispers of the unknown, urging continued observation and a calm, rigorous inquiry. If you have heard a persistent, unexplained noise in your town, the path forward is familiar. Document it, record high-quality audio if possible, note timing and weather, and report it to local researchers. The more data we gather, the closer we come to turning the eerie into the understood, or to admitting that some sounds remain, for now, an open question. Please like and share this video, and consider subscribing for more interesting stories.